Okay, so we would like 2 volunteers to share their stories.
Share what you just shared with your partner. Are there 2 people who are willing to do that?
You get a prize. Just raise your hand.
Why don't you do that?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, here we go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Am I sharing his story?
Yes.
Yours? No, share yours. Share yours.
Okay, my greatest sport memory is probably making it to the section finals for hockey, and it's the first time in like 10 years for Northfield High School to make it to that game. And I think we've only made it 3 times in like, what is it, like 20 or 30 years or something. And so we were 1 game away from state, so, and that's a pretty huge deal in Minnesota.
Give him a round of applause. That's pretty awesome. This guy in the back was the first to volunteer.
Go for it.
All right. Last year.
Oh wait, you know what? We didn't ask you to say your name. Could you just show your name so everybody
Drake Schaefer from Billings, Montana.
Stand up.
And the other year during the football season, we had a really, they just had a young team. We had a really bad season. We went 2-8. And it was hard. I was a young kid. I was a sophomore on the varsity team. And so, like I said, we were really young. We had pretty small kids, but the biggest thing about it was the first game that we won happened to be homecoming. It was probably the 5th game of the season, I would say. But it was just one of those games where nobody expected us to win. We pulled it off. Everybody rushed the field. Everyone went crazy. No kids were crying and stuff. And it just was the best moment ever. I mean, I had won a lot of games before that on the younger teams, but for that one moment on varsity when we finally won a game, it was just amazing. It was fun, and everybody was really excited. So.
So Mallory's giving out Clean Canteen with our logo on it. If you don't know, Clean Canteens are actually made in Chico. I don't know how many of you know the brand Clean Canteen. Yeah, Pottery Barn makes them. They're pretty big in our community because they come from our community. So we give it to our athletes that have gone through the training, and then anyone who comes to support our program and has really showed dedication around it, we'll give them a Clean Canteen with the brand on it.
So the red is Panther committed for Chico High, and the blue is Pleasant Valley committed for PV.
Alright, can you guys see over here? Just making sure. Alright, so here's some facts about Chico. We live 90 miles north of Sacramento. Our population is about 100,000. We have 2 high schools there, Chico High and Pleasant Valley. They both have a student body of around 2,000 kids. The rivalry between our 2 schools is a pretty strong one. One of the biggest events in Chico that we have is the Almond Bowl, and it's where both high schools have their football teams face off each other in 1 week. The JV and varsity get to play at Chico State, which is really cool. It's like a really amazing experience because the turnout for these games is like huge. We have about 5,000 people last year show up to the varsity game, and looking up those stands, like seeing all those people, it's pretty crazy. So what else am I going to talk about? Oh, we have 2 colleges in Chico. We have Butte Community College, which has about 10,000 students, and we are home to California State University Chico, which has 13,000 students. Said it right. It was previously ranked #1 in the nation for party schools. So if you could believe the access, like the easy access for high schoolers, you know, with older siblings that go to the college, you got parents, friends, it's almost immediate. So it's hard. The peer influence in Chico it's really hard for some kids to get by it. So a lot of them fall into that wrong path.
Athlete Committed was first implemented in our area in 2009 based on Life of an Athlete. And one of our first moves was to make a documentary which was non-scripted and filmed entirely in our area about the abuse of drugs and alcohol. And this documentary really opened the eyes of a lot of community members because everyone knew what was going on through the college and through the high schools, but when this movie or this documentary was shown through the schools, it really just opened a lot of people's eyes and forced them to acknowledge the problem that had been ignored for so long. So here's the video.